John Lennon. On December 8th, 1980, John Lennon is back at the Dakota in Manhattan. He arrives late after a studio session with Yoko Ono. The entrance archway is lit, and a few fans linger near the doorway with albums in their hands. Mark David Chapman is there, close enough to be mistaken for another waiting fan. He holds an album at chest height, like he wants one last signature. Lennon walks past him toward the door. Chapman raises a revolver and fires. The sound cracks under the stone archway and echoes into the lobby. Lennon staggers inside and collapses on the floor. The doorman shouts for help and someone calls the police. A patrol car pulls up, lights washing the street red and blue. Officers lift Lennon into the back seat and race to Roosevelt Hospital. Doctors try to save him, but he dies that night. Outside the Dakota, the sidewalk fills with candles and people staring up at dark windows. Kurt Cobain. On April 8, 1994, police are called to Kurt Cobain's home in Seattle. A worker has arrived and found something wrong inside the house. The property is quiet, the curtains are drawn, and the air feels still. Cobain is found dead, and the scene is secured. Investigators photograph the room, collect evidence, and document what is present. A shotgun is there. A note is found. Later, investigators estimate he died around April 5th. Outside, the street fills fast. News helicopters circle, and cameras point at a gate that shows nothing. Flowers appear on the pavement and candles burn in glass jars. The official ruling is suicide, and that remains the formal record. The online theories start anyway, but they happen far from the house itself. On that street, the reality is simple and final. A young artist dies alone in a quiet room, and the city wakes up to tape on a gate and reporters on the sidewalk. Selena Quintanilla-Pérez. On March 31st, 1995, Selena Quintanilla-Pérez goes to a motel in Corpus Christi, Texas. She is there for a tense meeting with Yolanda Saldivar, someone tied to her business and fan club. The parking lot is bright, and the front desk is staffed like any normal afternoon. Selena walks down an exterior corridor toward a room. The talk is about missing records, money, and a relationship collapsing. Voices rise behind the door, then a gunshot breaks into the hallway. Selena runs toward the lobby with one hand pressed to her side. Her shoes squeak on tile as she reaches the front desk area. She collapses near the counter and identifies Saldivar as the shooter. Staff call emergency services, and police rush in to move people back. Medics work over her on the floor, then strap her onto a stretcher. Outside, Saldivar stays in a pickup truck, holding a gun while officers surround the vehicle. Negotiators speak to her for hours before she finally surrenders. At the hospital, doctors try to stop the bleeding, but Selena dies soon after. Saldivar is arrested, tried, convicted, and sentenced to life in prison. The motel corridor becomes a permanent address in the story. Tupac Shakur. On September 7th, 1996, Tupac Shakur is in Las Vegas. He leaves a crowded night after a major boxing event with neon glare spilling across the street. He rides in a black BMW with Suge Knight. Traffic crawls, and the strip feels like a moving wall of headlights. At a red light near the strip, a white Cadillac pulls alongside them. The window lowers, a hand appears, and shots fire into the passenger side. Glass sprays, and the BMW lurches forward as Knight tries to drive out of the line of fire. Tupac is hit and slumps in his seat, breathing shallow, trying to speak. The car reaches help, and police tape goes up at the intersection. Witnesses point in different directions while cameras arrive. At the hospital, Tupac is rushed down fluorescent corridors on a gurney. Machines beep, and friends crowd the waiting areas. For days, the world waits on scraps of information. On September 13th, 1996, he dies from his injuries. The crosswalk and the stoplight become the replayed image. The Notorious B I G. On March 9th, 1997, the Notorious B I G is in Los Angeles. His real name is Christopher Wallace, and he is leaving an after-party at the Peterson Automotive Museum. The curb is packed, security tries to clear a path, and a convoy of black SUVs and trucks pushes into traffic. Biggie sits in the front passenger seat, and his window is partly open. The vehicles roll forward and stop at a red light on Wilshire Boulevard. A dark sedan slides up beside them. The driver's window is down, and a handgun appears. Shots punch into the passenger side, and Biggie jerks back, then slumps forward. Someone screams from the back seat, and the driver surges ahead toward the hospital. At Cedars-Sinai, staff rush him through sliding doors, nurses run, and doctors attempt surgery. He is pronounced dead shortly after. Outside, reporters gather within minutes, and police begin interviews and log evidence. Years pass without a resolution that closes the case for everyone. The stoplight remains the frozen frame. Michael Jackson. On June 25, 2009, Michael Jackson is found unresponsive in Los Angeles. He is in a rented home in Holmby Hills, inside a dim bedroom. A fan hums, pill bottles sit on a table, and people in the house move from room to room in panic. A call goes out and paramedics arrive fast. They push past assistants and begin chest compressions, then move him to the floor. A gurney is brought in, and he is rushed into an ambulance. At Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center, staff roll him into an emergency room. Doctors work for a long stretch, but he is pronounced dead that afternoon. Outside the hospital, fans and photographers crowd the sidewalk, staring at phones and hospital doors. Later, the official finding states he died from acute propofol intoxication, with other sedatives contributing. Propofol is an anesthetic normally used with careful monitoring, which is why the story alarms so many doctors. His physician, Conrad Murray, is later convicted of involuntary manslaughter. The lasting visual is not a stage. It is a gurney in a tight hallway and sliding doors shutting. Amy Winehouse. On July 23, 2011, Amy Winehouse is found dead in London. She is at home in Camden on a summer weekend, and the street outside looks ordinary. Parked cars line the curb, and inside the rooms are dim and quiet. A bodyguard checks on her, then later returns and finds her unresponsive. Police arrive and seal off the entrance. Officers take notes at the front door while a neighbor watches from a window. Photographers gather at the end of the street, pointing lenses toward a house that suddenly feels exposed. News spreads fast and clips of performances loop on television. Fans show up with flowers and handwritten messages. Some stand in silence, some sing softly, then stop. An inquest later concludes she died from alcohol toxicity. The details are clinical, but the scene is small. A single room, a closed front door, and then a block filled with cameras. Her final day is not dramatic on film. It is stillness, and the moment after music stops, when the only sound left is footsteps and shutter clicks. Whitney Houston. On February 11, 2012, Whitney Houston dies in Beverly Hills. She is staying at the Beverly Hilton during a busy music industry weekend. Downstairs, the lobby is crowded, staff wheel carts past velvet ropes, and elevators open and close all day. Upstairs, her suite is quiet compared to the noise below. Hours pass, and concern rises when she does not respond. Security and staff move toward the room, and a bathroom door is opened. She is found submerged in a bathtub. Emergency crews arrive and attempt resuscitation, and the bathroom fills with urgent movement. Towels hit the floor, equipment bags open, and voices turn clipped and fast. Outside the hotel, police keep onlookers back while cameras cluster at the driveway. She is pronounced dead. Authorities later rule the death an accidental drowning, with heart disease and cocaine use as contributing factors. The contrast is brutal. Downstairs, a weekend of celebration continues. Upstairs, a single bathroom becomes the end of a career that once felt untouchable. Prince. On April 21, 2016, Prince is found dead in Minnesota. He is at Paisley Park in Chanhassen, his studio complex and private fortress. Inside, the building is a maze of rehearsal rooms, offices, cables, and equipment cases stacked against walls. That morning, he is found unresponsive, and a call goes out. First responders arrive and move quickly through hallways lined with memorabilia. They attempt aid, but it is too late. News breaks, and fans appear at the gates within hours. Purple flowers pile up, signs hang on fences, and car stereos play his songs in the parking lot. The place turns into a vigil. The medical examiner later rules he died from fentanyl toxicity, and the manner of death is accidental. The conclusion lands hard because his image always looked controlled. The most filmable scene is not a concert. It is the quiet exterior of Paisley Park, and a line of fans holding purple candles in the wind. Avicii. On April 20, 2018, Avicii is found dead in Muscat, Oman. His real name is Tim Bergling, and he is traveling far from tour buses and festival stages. The hotel is calm, the air outside is warm, and the city feels distant from the noise his music usually lived inside. Authorities report no suspicion of foul play, and public details stay limited. That makes the story feel like it happens behind a curtain, Then his family releases a statement that strongly indicates he took his own life. After that, fans build memorials. Candles appear in circles, posters fill with handwritten notes, and DJs play his tracks and let the lights drop, like a moment of silence made out of sound. The visual beats around Avicii are modern. A phone screen lighting up with breaking news. A festival crowd suddenly quiet between songs. A laptop open to a half-finished project. A young man who stepped back from touring because the pressure was crushing, and who still could not fully escape it. His ending is a quiet room in a faraway city, followed by grief spreading worldwide in minutes. If you liked this video, hit subscribe for more like it, and let me know in the comments what you want to see next.